Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. With me today is Duchess, Admiral, and Cash. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. We were
It's okay.
talking off screen. It took about a month and a half for the trigger to get pulled, but here we are. Awesome.
Glad to be here.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's get to the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. How long have you been playing Amp Card?
I wasn't ready for that. I'm so happy it happened. Okay. I just hit my 15-year mark like a week ago. So
Okay.
15 years.
What drew you to Amp Card?
So I was actually in university as a music therapy major. And I was in a band practice, and the guy that sat next to me in band was the sheriff of our park at the time. Okay. And we were just talking about, mundane stuff, and he found out I was a fencer and a huge theater geek, with my performing arts background. And he's like, "Oh boy, do I have a thing for you." And he told me to show up at midnight at a place on our campus on a Thursday to dress up in crazy costumes and hit each other with sticks. And for some madness, I showed up, and I don't know even what drew me to do it. I was like, this is the worst, like, poor life choice. What am I doing? And I went, and the first person I saw was somebody from my old high school, and we were in a show together, and so we went by our show names, and she was just like Horatio, and I was like Archie, and we hugged, and 15 years later I'm still here.
I mean, I guess there's a lesson there. If anyone ever comes up to you and says, "Meet me on a school campus at midnight," it's probably a good thing. No, don't do that.
All right. Where there's lots of lighting and you have security, yes, things throughout the campus, and you're going with trusted friends.
Yep. Travel with a
pack. Known them.
Yeah. All right.
Be safe.
Yeah, be safe, please. Can you tell us a little bit about your persona? Like, there's a lot there. Tell us about it.
Oh gosh. So my persona is the Admiral and Cash. Most folks just call them Admiral at this point. It's honestly a little weird. It started. For those that don't know, Admiral is my Dame Sir equivalent, so that's actually my knighting title. But then it became my nickname, in and out of character. So even in mundane life, folks will just call me Admiral. So that's apparently a thing. So it's now just like an endearing term now, and I really love it. But yeah, so oh gosh, she's a pirate. Pretty obvious, I guess. So she does have obviously an armada of ships, since the Admiral. But yeah, oh gosh, she's a curious individual. She drinks tea. She does not drink alcohol like most pirates. Though she is a very serious, grumbly individual. Lots of just literally making grumbly noises, just but is a good-hearted individual. Paragon anti-paladin, very much all with that Black Phoenix thing, but is actually like a legitimate good person. Like, it's just like, she's like pretty much a really bad anti-paladin in that sense. Just like, yeah, she's not like an evil, tyrannical, evil pirate in a sense. She's actually just like an honest, real good person. You're like, I kind of see it as like paladins being like Superman and anti-paladins being like Batman. One's gonna do the right thing, but isn't afraid to break a couple of windows in the way, right? So I see it still as like playing like an anti-hero of sorts.
Yeah.
So I kind of play around with that sort of thing.
There we go. Instead of anti-paladins being the villain, they're just the vigilante.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can. That works.
She's a werewolf. Whatever.
Oh well, just a werewolf thrown in there at the end too. No big deal.
No
big deal. this is off topic a little bit here, but is that World of Warcraft inspired? Dead Mines, kind
No,
of? No?
actually,
Okay. All right.
no. I actually don't know what
Okay.
that is. Now I'm super
Dead
curious
Mines
what
in World
that
of
is.
Warcraft, it's like a pirate dungeon, and at the end you fight a werewolf. And I didn't know if
What?
maybe, yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, no, it was actually, yeah, completely unrelated. It was most things with my character has been random things developed through super random quest scenarios. And just
Mm-hmm.
15 years of like being a super flurb, it just piles up in the end. But yeah, it was just there was my first night, Sir Anders. We were doing RP on a trip to Golden Vale event, and there was just a moment where just like, and do you trust me? And foolishly I say, yeah. And he's like, okay, I just bit you. You're a werewolf now. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, no, out of character. So this is how it works. But yeah, they're basically like animagus, more like than like werewolf. So they mostly turn into wolf form. But yeah,
Okay. All right. Okay.
pirate werewolf.
Pirate werewolf. You'd fit in fine. We're gonna try moving through the bare necessities now. What award or achievement are you most proud of receiving?
Oh gosh. I'm on it, like obviously very, very proud of being a Serpent Knight. I think that's great. I'm about to become a Crown Knight. So my Master Dragon, my Master Crown, huge aspects of that. I'm super, super proud of Paragon Anti-Paladin, Paragon Archer. But there's also an award that's like super near and dear to me in that I only have 5 of them, but they mean the most to me. And that's Order of the Hardcore. That's an award that we have up here for overcoming medical adversity. So it's not something where you do something risky and dangerous, and they don't encourage that sort of behavior, but it's when you're doing things to still stay involved with the game, you're still doing things that especially for things that don't cause any damage or harm. And that's, I'm very open about all of my medical stuff. So for me, I have chronic pain and chronic illness stuff. So it's nothing that causes any harm or damage, but it's very painful, very difficult to do. But this game is a huge part of my life, and I've just like a week ago received my 5th Order of the Hardcore. So
Wow.
that's something I'm super proud of.
Okay. All right. Well, Stillhead's got a question about that later, so we'll talk a little bit more
Yep.
in depth about the Order of the Hardcore. You also mentioned another couple of keywords that have some questions connected to it,
Yeah.
fencing and masters and stuff like that. Let's talk about battle games. What would be your favorite battle game to play?
Oh gosh. So it's dependent on the class. Right. Obviously, Paladin, Anti-Paladin, right? Or Anti-Paladin and Archer. Goodness, I keep on saying those other two. Are my mains. So for Archer, I love Phoenix League. My team is the Canuck Shucks. We are currently, knock on wood, undefeated still. We were the first champions of the existence of the game. So this still going. And so that's like I absolutely love that game so much. So that's been a big one for me. Archer, definitely for that. And then for Anti-Paladin, I really love Regicide. I really like to be the one protecting the king. I really like doing that defensive stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably my favorite for that.
Okay. All right. So the next question, you've kind of already answered the next question about your favorite class, but you've mentioned Archer and Anti-Paladin. I'm going to make you pick your favorite.
No.
Which one's baby? Which one are you going to in a pinch? They're like, hey, we need you on the field right now. We can't tell you what the game is. We need you to pick a class.
Archer.
Archer. Okay.
Gotta go Archer. Archer's my first. That's me.
Okay. Well, you're going to get an opportunity here to save Anti-Paladin a little bit, maybe. What's your favorite weapon loadout?
Bow. I mean, bow is like my bread and butter. That's like the one that I'm like my most proficient weapon.
Okay.
But like loadout otherwise, crushing, breaking, featherlight polearm, 8-footer with a butt spike, small punch shield in the other hand, hanging dagger on my other hand, and 2 small mini punch shields in a pouch in my hip. So super specific answer.
Yes,
And a
it
short sword on
is.
my back.
Okay. All
so
right.
so loadout that. if
All
I'm
of
not
it.
doing if I'm not doing a bow.
Yeah. If it's not a bow, give me everything that's on the
Then
field.
everything
Yeah.
else that you can throw at a kitchen sink.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. All right. Those were the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's get to the general questions that have been asked since week 1 of KOK. We have closure on Sir Glenel's toaster. I have it. It's over there.
There you go.
I just have to get it to him. We'll figure it out. But Sir Glenel still has up in the air a soda maker. What are your thoughts on Sir Glenel's receiving a soda maker?
Well, I hope the very best for Sir Glenel. So I'm gonna say just everything. Whatever can be given to that individual, yeah, just do it. Just give it all. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
You.
it sounds like the Admiral's approach on giving gifts is much like her weapon loadout. Just whatever.
Everything in the kitchen sink.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, Sir
Maybe
Glenelth,
throw
if
in
you
the
want to
kitchen
make
sink.
Sir Glenelth, if you'd like to make a list, I'll ask all of them on KOK, and we'll see
Excellent.
what else we can give you, I guess. Admiral Cash, what's your thoughts on bears?
I think they're lovely.
Hey, all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
proud, noble creatures, and very soft.
Yes. Yes. All of these things. All of these things. What's your favorite bear?
Oh gosh. So I got 2 answers. I'm gonna say panda bears because obviously I like the black and white motif. And I think they're just adorable to just watch be silly nonsense, just trying to exist while everyone's just like, no, please stop. And I gotta say, my new obsession right now is sun bears. I because they're so uncomfortable to look at. They just look like people wearing bear suits, but it's just like, but these are actually bears. And my mind just like can't wrap around it. And so yeah, I'm not that they're my favorite, but they're my new infatuation of just mystery.
Yeah, they're super long and thin, and they're okay. You're technically a moon bear.
Cobra,
It still has technically a moon bear. I'm gonna give you 3 points for that, not 5. But again, the points don't matter. This isn't a contest. I don't know why we're counting. Before we move on to the next part, there's a question. 56 episodes in, finally someone's asked it in the chat. I don't wear garb on this because it's not about me. And there's the quote from Kodiak. It's not about me. So another question that was asked is Stillhat the best bear because of her willingness to participate in your recent Dragon Master?
Sorry, what was that?
Is Stillhat the best bear because of her willingness to participate in your recent Dragon Master?
Oh well, yeah, clearly.
Oh, okay.
That's
all right, Stillhat.
Yeah.
Then I guess
I'm sorry. Like,
5.
yeah. I mean, otherwise, clearly, we know who the best bear would be. Otherwise, but I mean,
that's okay. Well,
but I mean, I got to go with the super bias thing here on this occasion, of course, just on this occasion. But I mean, but the fact of you just letting me be in your presence right now, I mean, like I'm gonna give you 5 points, and I'm keeping track. I've got 3 points right now. You have 5, so you're beating me. So I mean, that's that's a thing. So congrats.
Well, yeah, but now the Kodiak rule kicks into place, and you put me in second place, and I'm getting 3 points. 3 times 2 is 6, right. So I'll take 6 points. Stillhat will have 5. I'm still the best bear.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's okay. So Still's got 5. Okay, you got 6. All right. Oh man, I'm in third. Oh, gotta bump it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. Morgan's not even on the list at this point, so Morgan.
Oh no.
Step up your game.
All right.
Okay.
Still in third. Still in
All right.
third. Okay. Till
Talks
I
of
get replaced and go into fourth.
right. Talks of bears still. Do you believe the bears are on the moon?
I think it would be naive of me to consider that they wouldn't be able to be. So I'm gonna say just always be prepared and just assume that they are.
There we go. All right. So Dragon Spine is looking in, not really, it's a joke, but Dragon Spine is looking into getting a mobile pool and or jacuzzi. What are
Mm,
your thoughts?
mm. Um, I'm gonna say probably jacuzzi.
Okay.
Just because, all right, being in Canada, we get very cold up here. So we are usually more of the supporters of the jacuzzi just because of being outside in snow all the time.
Yeah.
Probably jacuzzi. But I
Okay.
mean, I guess it would depend on your weather. You probably want to go with what goes best with your
See, and
season.
that's the thing. I'm from Western New York, so my initial goal
I'm
is,
also from Western New York originally.
yeah.
What?
Well, here's it's a creepy thing because my ex-wife and I were pretty certain that we knew who you were before I started playing Amtgard. Uh, but
What?
yeah, that's another conversation for a different day. So I would have voted for a jacuzzi there, but it's probably a pool here.
Yeah,
Either
yeah.
way, Spooky found the contraption that you would put in the back of a truck to make it a pool.
What?
Yeah, Spooky's doing all these great things. It's amazing. Uh, would bears be
All right,
allowed in your pool?
I'm gonna give Spooky 3 points for that one. Now
Wait
we're
a minute.
tied.
Oh, now the points are
Spooky's on the map.
just being handed
Yep,
out now.
yep,
It's like
yep.
candy over here. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm that judge that you always want on your panel because I'm just like the highest score is always me, so I always get dropped. It's like highs low. I'm just don't even bother judging. My scores always get dropped.
Okay. Uh, would you allow bears in the pool and or jacuzzi?
I don't think I'd have a choice. I think if a bear wanted to be in a jacuzzi or a pool and was in my presence, I don't think I could have a tell them not to.
Yeah.
So I think it would become auto theirs at that point. So I'm going to say yes, of
Yeah,
course.
bear's gonna bear, you know?
The bear's
That's
gonna bear.
yeah.
That's how they do.
Yeah.
They do.
And the new extension to the general question here is how do we fund a mobile pool and or jacuzzi? A calendar
Mm, mm.
has been proposed, but do you have
Right,
any other
right.
ideas?
Um, I would say a calendar with bears and garb, I think would be that next step. I
Mm-hmm.
think that would
Mm-hmm.
be a
Mm-hmm.
thing. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Obviously I'm a super supporter of garb.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd say just craft all the things and put them on bears.
There we go. Okay. All right. So those were the general questions we've been asking since week one. Let's finally get to your
Okay.
actual questions, the ones dedicated to you. Stillhat would like to know, what is your
About
favorite?
bears.
More bear questions. We're on Kingdom of Kodiak. The points don't matter, and we talk about bears most of the time.
That's
So
always
I would like
happened.
to know, what is your favorite non-noble title that you've been awarded?
Oh god. Oh my, okay, so this is the running thing for those that don't know. My full name is about a paragraph long. It actually like takes up a page.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that many non-nobles. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say probably either the Unstoppable or oh god, I literally just got one last week. Um, oh, it'll come back to me.
Someone is
Super
suggesting
new.
in
Now I
the
have to remember
chat that
what
they
it is.
can post it. Well, Unstoppable, like the
Okay,
Juggernaut.
no way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Um, I mean, literally, they even gave me a belt favor with it on there. Might
nice.
be mirrored in the thing.
No,
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah. Most of like I want to say 99% of my non-nobles are for ANS tournaments.
Mhm.
It's just like that's like a part of the prize for winning, and then the other non-nobles are for just term things. It'd be like everyone that's part of our kingdom at the time gets this. I I was back when we were in Golden Vale. There was an individual named Vaquantant that wanted the non-noble of the Vaquantant, so he could be the Vaquantant of Vaquantant. Trying to say that really awful, right?
Okay.
And would bug the king at every single event to give him this non-noble. So at his end reign, he gave everyone in the kingdom except for this individual the non-noble title of the Vaquantant. So
Oh.
everyone but him. It's just like a. So I also have the title of the Vaquantant.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, if we get a post, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about it. We'll come back to it. But the Unstoppable is a great one. This is gonna bring us back to what you talked about earlier with the Order of the Hardcore. Stillhat would like to know,
Yep.
could it be used by other kingdoms, or is that a 9-blade exclusive?
Oh yeah, yeah. Why not? Like there's definitely no reason for it to be exclusive to the Nine Blades. I think it had existed prior to us even, so I'd say yes.
Okay.
The biggest thing, of course, right, is to remember the key of its existence is to not give it for reckless behavior and not doing it where anyone's going to endanger or harm themselves, right? It's a really good thing for mental health. It's a very good thing for again, folks that have chronic pain, chronic illness, where they're still able to participate, still be involved, right? A lot of folks that are color players that are
Mhm.
still, creating such an environment for others to be able to participate in, and for them to still be able to participate in. These are really good ways to honor those players and let them know that they are valued,
Mhm.
and that folks can, are seeing their struggle and seeing them overcome and keep fighting. So
Right.
I'm a huge supporter of it. Yeah.
Okay. And we have a similar award that's kind of, it's not used all the time. The Hell Rider.
Ooh.
I feel like those
Ooh.
two could be merged together. But yeah,
That's extremely badass.
I thought so. Uh, but okay. Let's see if we can get a little bit more into Amp and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do some diving. Sir Smiley's asked a really great question a couple weeks ago, and I've kept it because I really like it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Amp memory?
Oh, um, mm, so so my mom passed from cancer about 2 years back,
Mhm.
and again, going back to Phoenix League, it was the first championship that ever happened, and it was um, it was happening like the day after my mom's cancer surgery, the
Mhm.
first time around, and she demanded that I play. So I mean, like, I was I was gonna call it off. Like I was like, no, I'm gonna be here. Like, no, I don't do this for me. Go out and win. Come back with that gold. And I was just like, how do you say no to your
Yeah,
mom
right,
in that moment?
right. You don't.
She could have
I think.
anything that she wanted. She wanted us to win in that moment. I'm like, all right, yep, gonna do the thing. I mean, pressure.
Mhm.
That's a heck of a pressure, but my team did win, and I ended up winning the MVP trophy. So I came home and I didn't even say, I just came to her bed and handed her both and said, "These are yours." So I
Oh,
think that was it's probably my favorite day.
oh man, that's
Yeah.
wow. Well, I mean, the combination of,
Sorry, that's
no, that's fine. Uh, I can rebound from this because the entire list of all of your non-nobles have been put in the chat.
no.
So the Unstoppable,
Okay.
Master Dragon, Adept Craftsman, Child of the Nine Blades, Master Crown, Phoenix Whisperer, Skeleton War Veteran, Paragon Anti Paladin, Paragon Archer, Bane of Bears. Excuse me? Um, um, you're gonna have to take a point away.
Oh,
Bane of Bears? Excuse me. Master Archer, the Enduring, Master
evil
Hydra,
bears, evil bears.
Heart of the
I've
Bard,
explained. I'll give
Master
myself a get a
Enchantress,
point on that.
True Monster, Master Scrapper, Defender of the Black Dragon, the Taquan Vaunt?
Taquan Bond. Yep, that was
Okay.
the.
Apex Rule Shark, the Great Pumpkin, Warden of the
Oh,
North,
yeah.
and then Admiral is your belting
Yep, yep,
title.
yep.
But yeah, quite the list. Yeah, and Spooky's pointing out in the chat. Wow, this has just become. Let's look at the chat, the show. But Spooky's pointing out that you have Defender of the Black Dragon,
I do.
which
Yes.
is an award that Dragonspine gives out.
Really?
Yes, Sir Randall is a Defender of the Black Dragon.
What?
Because our dragon in Dragonspine is Lumpy the Black Dragon.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's
world.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a super small world.
Well,
Huh.
speaking of Sir Randall, he wanted to point out that you are a
Yep.
fencer. That's not a question. But I wanted to know how being a fencer impacted your Amp Guard experience.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, if I hadn't had been a fencer, I wouldn't have ended up getting that invite, I'm going to say. Sorry, my cat is here now. But for like it helps a little bit in combat. Right, single short obviously doesn't really help for literally anything else. But it helps with the knee-jerk blocking in, right, doing a parry riposte, right, lunging at folks, right, just that straight thrust is definitely bread and butter. But I'll say it also helps with footwork to an extent, right? It helps you be light on your feet and having a good center of right, good balance, being able to move quickly and easily. It was an adjustment period to get side to side, I'm going to say, and to go into circular rotations and things like that, because fencing is very
yeah, it's back and forth. Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Just a straight line.
Is the footwork that you're taking out of this is you never cross your feet in fencing. You're always making gap moves like that, right? So you're going from being, I'm sorry, I'm explaining fencing now, which is not what I should be doing.
Yeah, it's just that
right.
Kind of.
So yeah, I mean the footwork, I don't know why. Let's not play that off. That's a huge deal. And being able to jump back and jump in is, especially with the speed of a thrust, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does any
the lunge is the thing I think no one's ever ready for, like especially like in like a singles tournament, or when I'm doing flow, especially because I find folks are so used to blocking the outsides, right? It's a lot of just outward motions that just straight lunge, you just drop the other sword and just straight lunge at them in the chest. I am very short. I'm 5'2.5". You can tell I'm short to say and a half like it matters. So I can get a very ridiculous distance with my lunge because I can do a kickoff from my back leg, which isn't just like a regular lunge. It's like it pushes you forward. So I can be a distance away that they are very much not expecting that I will be able to hit them, and then I'll just lunge out of nowhere and straight into the chest. So like that's like that one like really helpful fencing thing that helps me here, because it's just like a really weird move to see here that you don't like train to defend, because like why would somebody do that here? This is such a strange foreign movement. So I think that's like the one actually helpful fencing move here.
That's fair. It's you're saying that the thrusting is something that people are less ready for, but I know one of our sword knights, Sir Sane specifically,
Mm,
will go into a combat with a newer player and put his swords up like this and
mm.
literally beg you to throw at his chest because he knows the motions of the kill and
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, a
but
skilled
yeah,
fighter. Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. They'll
right.
they'll see it a mile away and they'll just be like, nope.
But that's awesome having a crossover that you can bring to Amgard. Like I played 5 sports in high school. I played college sports. None of it translates. Like but it's all I whatever. That's fine. It's not about me. We're moving on. Kato would like to know. Um, to flurb or not to flurb?
Always flirb.
Always flurb. Always
Always flirb.
flurb.
Always flirb.
Okay. Uh,
Also, side note, unyielding. That's the one that I got
unyielding.
this
Okay.
past week. The
All
unyielding.
right. Okay. What is your favorite piratey song?
Ooh, ooh, that's that's rough. Oh, that's rough. I'm gonna say right now probably My Son John.
Okay.
Like that one.
Okay.
Obviously Wellerman is everyone's thing right now. Oh gosh. I have just like a crazy long list of sea shanties that I am all about. I literally did a university paper on sea shanties and folk soul songs. So it's like, yeah.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
that type of geek.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I built, well, spoilers for anyone who is paying attention to Still Hat's upcoming reign, but I had built a Naruto and Magic the Gathering personality test, trying to figure it out so we could do some weird things like that. It's really lame,
Fantastic.
but I put a lot of energy into it.
Yay.
Anyways, man, we could just talk for like 4 hours if you want, or
Probably. Yeah, I'm here. I got time.
Still Hat would like to know, what's your favorite piece that you've created?
Oh gosh. I'm probably gonna say the pearl dress. Pearl dress
Okay.
is probably that labor of love. Yeah, it has 10,315 hand stitch pearls. After 2 years of hand stitching, you can't not love a thing
I
that
mean,
you do that long.
you either love that thing or you hate that thing immensely.
Yeah,
But,
it's
yeah.
a little bit of both. It's a love hate
Okay.
relationship, but yeah. I got a good amount of love for that.
Um, given given your skills and your artistries and whatnot, are you a commissioned artist, or do you just create for yourself, or do you create in times of need?
Um, yes, all of that. Um, so I used to do a lot of commissions. To the point of like I was making garb for everyone but myself, and then I just was
Hmm.
like, hey, I should probably do a thing, and then I did the pearl dress. Um, so just like went like 0 to 60 on that. So
Yeah.
but I would say nowadays more I do smaller things like pendants and things like that. I do a lot of polymer clay, a lot of needle felting. I do just like very small pieces. So those I do commissions for, but it's I'll have a section of time where I'll open up commissions, and in that period I will be open to do stuff. But otherwise, it's we have 9 knightings happening in our kingdom this
Yes.
term. So I'm a little taken up with all the knighting gifts currently.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm also making a custom hat for the pearl dress. I would like to wear that for my knighting, because I didn't wear it the first one. I made a whole different ensemble for my first knighting. So I was just like, oh yeah, I didn't actually wear the pearl dress for that. So I'm gonna wear it for my second knighting.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I'm making a new hat right now. And it's of course going to have pearls on it. But yeah, so
Awesome.
exciting.
Well, we're gonna talk about knighthood and stuff here in a minute. Sir Alucard would like to know though, how much time do you allot to making an item?
Oh gosh. There's never enough time. I I do not put any caps at all.
Okay.
Right? I mean, obviously, I've spent 2 years on the pearl dress. I did something similar for my knighting gown. Yeah, I find that I just don't put any sort of restrictions because I really, really, really don't like doing things for timelines. That's been a big thing. Of course, having chronic pain, chronic illness stuff, being actually disabled, I can only create things when I'm physically able to, right? And sometimes I'm restricted to where I can create things. So a lot of things now are things that I can do in my bed, right? Doing things where I can be just doing things on my lap, right? So like being at a sewing machine for long periods of time is not something I can do anymore. So I have to do it in small stints, right? I have to be on pain medication. I have to wear specific things. Like I have a whole sort of secret thing that I'm going on right here. I've got like spinal stuff on underneath my garb. I've got this like behind the scenes here. This is all pillow backed up to hold myself up, right? There's lots of things that you find tips and tricks along the way to help keep you going and doing stuff. So yeah, it's just a matter of like when you have to do like a full yoga routine to be able to sit at your sewing machine for 30 minutes, right? You do what you got to do. You find ways to do it and you get it done. So it's just a matter of finding what works. And yeah, you can't put time restrictions when you have that type of situation.
No, that makes sense.
So
okay.
the answer is as long as it takes.
I do want to point out what do we got here? Is that an entire sleeve? Oh, that's glove. Okay.
No, they're gloves. Yep.
All right. Okay. Because those are cool.
Thank you.
Yes, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about the pain and stuff, and I'm balancing listening very intently about that, but then also putting like the Renegon from Naruto on the inside palm of that because and just in having a pair, but whatever. Shiny object. I'm off in the distance. Apology.
No, I am the same way. I am absolutely the same way.
Still, I would like to know what's your favorite rain theme.
I would have to say we did like a Firefly one once, where it was like the Alliance came in and like and it became this whole thing where all the knights at the time, luckily it was not a knight at the time, got captured, and we had to go out and do missions to find them and get them back. Lots of quests. There were the Alliance would be moving into our parks, and we would have to do like defending missions here and there. So it would be either scenario battle games or quests. But yeah, it was really, really neat. It was really, really neat. Proud brown coat.
Of course you said Firefly. I'm sorry guys, it's kind of about me right now. The first ever amp guard thing I bought in an event was a belt favor, and it's the one that says Big Damn Heroes on it at GOTC, and it's on my belt. I wear every park day. It's
fantastic.
It's fantastic. Firefly is one of my favorite. Yes. Oh, so good. All right. Let's see. Where are we?
Like I'll leap on the wind.
Sir Smiley had a question.
Inevitable betrayal.
Yes, right. What's the most interesting amp card class that you can come up with right now?
Pirate Goose. There.
Pirate Goose.
Pirate Goose. Fair enough. Because there it is.
We did it. Pirate Goose.
Yep. Okay. Strength in numbers. Must fight in a V formation.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
You got spell balls that are just flying poop. There you go. That's all you need to make it piratey. Obviously, just wear hats. There you go.
There you go. Fair.
Nope.
Fair. I forgot to give you a bonus point back for Firefly, so you can have a point back.
Oh yes, solid.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm back in a tie for fourth. Yes. Okay. Splendid. We're doing good. Doing
still,
good. Sitting at 3 points.
still, I would like to know what's the coolest scroll that you've received for an award. Now you've received lots of awards, but what's the coolest scroll?
Yeah. So that's I gotta say hardcore. It was specifically my second hardcore. Oh my gosh. Lisa Velke. Who just received her Master Dragon. Congrats, Lisa. It was just the most like personal scroll. It had a little picture of my character, like in this tiny little frame. It had like these polymer clay, red and black marbled like beads on it, and then it had like 2 rapiers, because that's my favorite sword and coming from fencing, right? And the word hardcore itself, she did a mirror leaf on it, so that every morning I could look at it and see myself in the word hardcore and remember why I earned it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, oh,
I feel
right
like
in the
this episode
heartstrings.
is we're gonna find a way to get you to cry on camera, but then
It's
we're gonna
very
laugh.
easy. It's
Yeah,
very
okay.
easy.
Okay. Well, we'll move on. We'll move on then. Again, you're a Master Crown. How do you feel about how did you feel about crown points?
Amazing, actually. I wouldn't have been eligible if it hadn't exist. Right, because we only literally just became a kingdom. So for us getting crown points, right? You know, my park had just become a duchy, like I want to say 2 years now. It was actually it's been a weird thing where I was our first duchess, I was our first queen, just like lots of firsts.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like again, right at that point, right, I did the duchy. I was duchess for 2 straight terms in a row. I then went into regent. Just like I don't think I've ever just like stopped being in office since then. I think this is actually the first time I haven't been in office. It's a very strange time right now. My first term off.
Right.
And, it's been actually like a few years, I think. But yeah, so it's been a lot of just being in office constantly. But up until that point, right, I had been doing office for almost 15 years, right? So having all of the other terms of office count for those lower level ones, right, getting up into the point to where I was doing kingdom office, and obviously duchy office by the end. Yeah, I just like I didn't think I'd ever have a chance at it, and I didn't think of myself on that path because I didn't think that was something that was attainable at the time. So when the path came out, it was just like, oh, this is a thing now. This is actually something that I can strive for. So I'm obviously very in favor of it.
Sure.
And yeah, and now I'm gonna be a crown knight, come to find out. So
Yeah, right.
pretty neat.
there it is, right?
There it is.
So still has another question that goes around the same topic. Every kingdom and leader within the kingdoms have awarded these differently. So now we're talking about the crown points or the orders of the crown, however you want to look at it.
Right.
How do you think we could better utilize as a whole the system?
Oh gosh. So for us, we had an audit. We had to figure out where everyone was and catch them up. So after that point, It's really being very aware of how folks' terms go, and making sure that somebody is putting in a conscious effort into award recommendations, and talking with the powers that be that hand out those awards to make sure that they are being handed out. I think that something that can happen transition from the audit to where like Kingdom, right, was taking care of all of it. So your second order of, the crown would be coming from Kingdom. They'd be just on top of everything, right? That was a big thing for my term. My term was the end of the audit. So getting local parks to be ready to hand them out themselves and to make sure that it's being done, especially in terms for the monarchs who can't give themselves awards, obviously, right? So they're giving out crowns to their other officers and their end reigns, and then they're not having a crown themselves. So it's important for either the Kingdom monarch to be stepping in and handing that out at their end term, or the incoming monarch awarding the previous monarch. And it's just keeping on top of that and making sure that folks aren't being overlooked or forgotten. It's just important to keep up on it and to remember that it's a thing, and that is something that we need to assess, obviously, right? If somebody has an abysmal term, and right, if you are a first time Shire GMR that has an absolutely abysmal reign, then right, that's not going to be something that you're going to consider for a 10th crown, right? It's that sort of thing, right? You do those types of assessments, you make sure that it's getting handed out when appropriate, but absolutely making sure that regardless, it's being assessed every time. Whether you're going to hand it out or not, it's having a fair judgment and a fair assessment, and making sure that it's being looked at one way or another.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. Spooky would like to know. Still and Spooky, both of them. They're
They're
Spooky
wonderful.
would like to know. Yes. What was it like being the first queen of the Nine Blades?
One of the greatest honors of my life, legitimately. There is nothing like it. I mean, I was with our principality from day one. 13 years of us existing. I was one of the representatives for Caradoc Coldwind when Caradoc was still part of what was then the Northern Empire. Because again, I'm originally from Rochester, New York, Western New York.
No, that's a little east, but
little.
It's west of the problem, which is the island, but we're not getting into anyways.
But yeah, so right, I'm in Toronto, Canada now. Yeah, right, moving up here, re-entering the empire, as it were. There was to be there from the very beginning, to being there when it's the culmination of all of those years of work. Just it's hard to put in words. It's very, very difficult to explain. But it was a heck of a wait and a heck of a payoff. It's 13 years is a very long time to wait for a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's just, I guess it never occurred to me that it would be me in that top seat when it came. That wasn't something that I had envisioned. I knew that at one point that I would be running for what I thought would be Principality Monarch, and I had prepped and trained to make sure that I would be the right person to be in that role when my time came. And even when I, again, prepping my term, prepping everything, prepping myself for it, I was going in thinking that I would be Principality Monarch, and then oh, by the way, we're bidding. Oh, by the way, it's in a month. After being, told that we weren't going to be able to bid, and then all of a sudden, everything changed in a heartbeat, and then we had to put together, or I'm gonna say reassemble bid, because we'd put it on the back burner. It was a very quick turnaround, and it was just a immense team effort, and then it ended up being me. So yeah, it was a huge honor, just a huge honor.
Yeah, that's great. If anyone is interested, they need to find the Nine Blades bid video. I remember watching that and being like, oh yeah, this is the kind of people we want in Amtgard. They're excited to play Amtgard. That's what we want, right? Yeah,
there's a secret blooper reel for that, by the way.
Oh
yeah.
Everyone should be looking for the secret blooper reel of the Nine Blades. Okay.
A lot of me not being able to say ombudsman.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you got that video, you can put that out there too. I'm sure we could sell it.
Super secret.
Sell it for like $2 a piece. Come on.
I mean that'd be a heck of a fundraiser. I mean, I can't deny that.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, like the behind the scenes thing on that. So you saw how much I was actually on video for that. I filmed it not knowing that a lot of it would be a voiceover. So I had to film it in front of the camera. And I had my text about this small, like right here on my screen. And I had to perform it to the camera. I'm like looking down ever so slightly to be able to read the words. And, every time I would fumble a thing, the whole take would be lost. So a whole paragraph of a thing, anytime I mess up a word, the whole take is gone. It took 6 hours to film. Yeah, 6 hours straight of filming, like straight. We didn't stop. And because of like my framing and stuff, I also couldn't move. I had to stay in seat that whole time. Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. And there was also like the first part of it too was me with an eye patch on, because the light was triggering an eye condition I have. So we also had to reshoot all of those when we decided that we wouldn't go with the eye patch, because it was just like, it was like, I was worried that I would look like some weird pirate stereotype, and that I would be less relatable if you could only see like half of my face. So we just got to a point of filming where I'm just like, this isn't gonna work, is it? I just look like yeah. I mean, like it was actually a medical thing, and I knew they wouldn't know that it was for an actual medical need, because it was like I actually made custom made my eye patch to match my garb. I'm that person. So I was just like, oh gosh, no, I just don't want them to. I got super in my head about it, and I was worried about what folks would assume, and I just went like, no, I'm just gonna close my eyes between takes and just like, okay, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna go. Okay, yep, nope. 6 hours of just going, squinting a bunch. But yeah,
okay.
Nuts. But worth it. I mean, like, I'm happy with how it turned out in the end.
Yeah, you're a kingdom now, so
we're kingdom. I mean, yay!
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
100%.
Sure. All right. Stillhead wants to speak a little bit about your leadership style. Are you a delegator, or are you someone who's got to have your hands in on the work?
Yeah. I like to do it myself. There are some things where I will delegate. There's folks where you got to be able to trust your team, right? It's monarchy is a team, 110%. So you have to know when to let go of the reins, when to loosen them. But I think it's important not to delegate everything. Having you're in that seat for a reason. If you've got the time and you've got the knowledge, there's no reason for you not to be doing it. That's just my personal style. So I like to be hands in, and I also I don't expect others to do things I would not do myself. So a lot of times, if I am getting folks to do things, I'm doing it beside them. I'm doing it with them. I'm not just going, here's a workload, okay, bye. I'll go, here's a portion. I'm going to do this part, you do this part, and let's go together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sharing the load, right? When we're doing things like awards, right? I'm making a bunch of scrolls myself. I'm making a bunch of coronets myself, right? I wouldn't just be like, okay, we want all of these scroll artists, and okay, good luck, see you in a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, okay, what are we missing? I'll take everything else. So right. I think literally this last event was the first time in about at least 3 reigns that I wasn't making something. So that was like the first time.
See,
But it was also because I was making stuff for knighting stuff. So
right. Yeah, your
huge.
approach reminds me of Stillhat, because we start a project and she's like, well, I'll do it. And it's like, oh, okay, but I want to, we can go ask other people. And then she's already got like 5 ideas of how to do it and halfway through the process already, and then I get the code, like, whatever. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
She works way too
Same
hard for this.
thing.
Yeah.
I always have a notepad right next to me, no matter where I am. Just like, that's always just, it's all about organization. So like,
Sure.
that's the biggest thing. Just
Sure. All
keep
right.
notes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to step out of the Master Crown. I'm going to ask you to step outside of being a monarch. What are you looking for in a successful monarch?
I'm gonna say organizational skills. Somebody that is empathetic, that cares about their people, that knows their people, that that doesn't want to be there for power or gain, not for awards and not for some sort of benefit they can get out of being in that position. Like it's always sort of a red flag for me when I hear, oh man, I want this title, I'm gonna run for office. It's like, oh, that should not be why you're doing it. That is like the last reason you should be doing it. It's okay if like at the end you go and say, okay, I'm done. Where am I? Oh, I'm actually eligible. Oh, that's neat, right? And if you get it, awesome. If you don't, keep on doing the thing that you're doing, because you're not, right? It's a nice thing that can happen, but it's not the thing that should be motivating you to be doing that
Absolutely.
job.
I mean, at the end of your reign, you get an opportunity during award recommendation to self-promote, essentially, and you can put yourself in for awards. It's not a problem. That's a good point to do it, but to do the office because you want the thing, yeah,
cringy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So expanding upon that, what does a successful reign look like? Now we're not just talking about the monarch. We're talking about the officers, the engagement, the theme, kind of eating 6 months of Amtgard time. What does successful reign look like?
Communication.
Okay.
First and foremost is open, transparent, good communication. I see a lot of times where monarchs will just be silent. They won't make posts, they won't talk, they won't be present, and that's when you start losing trust, you start losing information, you don't know what is or is not happening, and then you lose that connectivity. It's I like when there is a monarch that is forward facing, that's being present, because you know that they're still there, that there's still somebody steering the ship, as it were. I think it's important to see the other officers also making posts, also doing things and engaging. If it's just one person, then right, again, the monarchy is a team, and it's about the team, it's not just the monarch, right? So it's important for them to be present as a team, and again, keeping that communication going, making sure that there's activities being run, that there's engagement, that there's connectivity. I think for kingdoms, you always want to be careful of just making sure that they feel that they are a kingdom, right? That it's not just a bunch of separate parks doing their own thing. When you are a kingdom, it's about being groups that make a whole, and having that connectivity and doing things that interweave them, and support them and make sure that their voices and their concerns are being met. And again, right, just that connection point between your kingdom officers and your local officers is really key, because they are there to support the local officers with whatever they need, and making sure that folks are being recognized. Right, when you get to kingdom level awards, the local officers are the ones that are the most present, being able to see what their players are doing. They know their players, you know, in and out, and they know their work. So being that contact point, making sure that, you know, those officers are doing their due diligence to check in and going, hey, who in your park has been doing X? Who is up for a kingdom level award that I can give out? Right. Just active participation.
Yeah, no, I couldn't said any better. To tie in a question I've asked and a question I've asked to a person who's asked a lot of questions, Stillhat would like to know, should we finish Stillhat's Naruto reign, which is going to start May 1 when she takes office, with a major fight on the moon, referencing moon bears?
Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
There it is. All right. Okay, so that was an entire section denoting just some of your personal preferences. Now we're going to get more into you specifically. Then we're going to talk about your knighthood, and we'll get to the funny questions. We're only an hour in. I think we can get this done in 3, maybe.
Good. Good time.
How does it? We've talked about you last GOTC. 9 Blades was given kingdom status. Your bid was awesome. The video, for anyone who's looking for it, is in the chat.
Oh, awesome.
How does it feel to be part of one of the newest kingdoms?
Oh gosh. It's amazing. It's a lot of pressure. There's 22 of us now. So it's important to I guess the hope for me when I was in office was kind of, you know, hit the ground running, just make sure to be getting all of your, you know, geese in order, making sure that you know, things are being run properly, and yeah, just keeping organized and keeping morale. I mean, it's been a big thing for this term, and in the previous term. We're like going into like 3 terms now of this time, especially with so much of this being online now. Morale, I think, is the biggest thing. So for us in the 9 Blades, one big thing, I think a staple of our kingdom right now, is that we have featured park nights. We have Amp Guard Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 every single week. It is like constant. And then we have events occasionally on weekends. So we've been just going hard from day one of us being a kingdom, just trying to be very active, making sure that we're keeping connected with our players. We're creating space, and then you know, we talked previously of the amazing folks from your kingdom that have been hanging out in our neck of the woods. Right, we've been really just fortunate to have so many out of kingdom visitors coming to our fields online. It's been an amazing time just meeting new people, and them just becoming part of our community at this point. It's been amazing in that respect. We've just it's nuts that we feel more connected than we've ever been, and now we're getting to connect with other kingdoms on top of it. So being a kingdom now, I feel has helped us get more involved in the inter-kingdom scheme of things, and that it's just opening our horizons and right, our opportunities to go to other kingdoms like we're doing right now, and participate in their super awesome activities.
Hey.
Right, this there's so much that we're doing online that we weren't doing previously, and I think that it's the silver lining that's come out of this. So
For sure. Well, yeah, I one of the things we talk about regularly on our Saturday parks for DS on Discord is how, without this experience of being forced on the internet, how a lot of our players wouldn't have got to know each other. One of the coolest people in our kingdom lives in Yuma, which is 8 hours away. Kenjin, shout out to you, bud. One of the coolest players ever. Awesome crafter, just a great persona, great person overall. And I've been to Yuma twice to visit, but I get to talk to him every week now, and that's super cool. So yeah, definitely there's been a lot of that bonding. Plus, someone like we mentioned before, Spooky, who
yep.
is here and is in Nine Blades and in like 12 other kingdoms with arts and science, and just yeah, we wouldn't get to do that if we weren't forced to be online. You just can't make those kind of trips. But yeah, super awesome. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but I want to see if maybe there was a plan. You were getting ready to become the monarch of a principality, and then we're kind of like, oh, by the way, we're bidding in a month.
Yep.
What kind of check boxes did you have to get in that month time to go from principality to kingdom prep? And now you're going in front of the GOTC COMAIBOD committee with a bid. What does that checklist look like?
Oh gosh. So we had initially prepped our bid for January. So fortunately we had the bid book was nearly done at that point. And we had worked on that for quite some time. So the book itself was close, but went on hiatus, right? We just went, okay, well, we got time, so we're just gonna stop there. So it was then an emergency, oh, team, get back together, I've got to finish the bid book. So Wunjo, Sir Wunjo, who is my husband, he was the one that created the bid book and was the one that created the video. And I was regent at the time. So it became my involvement became the monarch delegated a whole bunch of stuff to me thing. So that's why I got super involved. Basically, who my knight, Sir Diana, basically, who was the prince's knight, basically, he came to us and essentially was just like, you were here from day one. It feels like it should be you. So we took the honor that we were given, and we kind of put our heads together and went, okay, let's get this done. So it was creating the 9 days of 9 blades. That was a part of it, where we ran, it was literally 9 days in a row of activities. And we did that through Discord, and that was basically, we wanted, because it was a lot of the checklist was, okay, what are all the things we would have been doing in person that now we have to create online? Right. So normally the meet and greet that happens at the gathering events, right, we weren't going to be able to get that. So that's why we did the 9 days of 9 blades, to be able to get other kingdoms to be able to come and meet us, meet our players, get to know us, and see the things that we do. So we had a lot of folks that are getting knighted this term, or were previously knighted, that were just putting their best foot forward and running activities. And it was just a huge undertaking in a very, very short amount of time. So that was just a crazy 9-day event. the bid book, right? Again, we had to do, and then it was, okay, we're not going to be able to be there live for a presentation. What are we going to do for presentation? And again, Sir Wunjo's like, I can make a video. If you write a script and perform it, I can put it all together. So Sir Diana wrote the script for us, and me and her just kind of piggybacked off each other and took like every other section, and then we did it where both of us did the full script. We filmed the whole script ourselves, doing it, and then Wunjo
copy paste.
He would take, whoever did like this was the best of this person, so this person will go here, and this person will, okay, this one was terrible, so we're gonna add that one over here. Like, so it was just like taking the best of the performances and like piggybacking, leapfrogging them. So then it was just and then adding in all of the other images, showing our players, showing our parts, showing a lot of our, the visuals. So just compiling all of that, that was definitely part of the checklist. And then it was also deciding talking bits for what questions we are most likely going to be asked, and being prepared for that, interview style questions, which the Prince was involved with. So I believe it was just the three of us. Basically, were like, you know the most about these topics. You have all the history on this stuff. You can speak to all of these things. So it became a prep all of your topics to be able to answer anything in this general vicinity. And whichever question gets asked, that's whoever's territory, they'll be the ones to speak to it.
Okay.
So we kind of just prepped like that. So it was just like, it was a lot of meetings. It was a lot of practice. It was a lot of just like interview question style prepping. It's just, I think that was a fair bit of the majority of it. I guess like the other part of the checklist was we had to update our Kapora to make sure that it was a kingdom Kapora. And then just trying to keep an open dialogue with the populace to make sure that they were a part of the process, they knew what was happening, and that they were a part of it, right? I absolutely love that we ended up doing the We Are the Nine Blades video thing at the end, because that was everything. Like, that was just all of us having that moment of that connection and being able to show who we were as a group, as a kingdom, right? That is us. And bawled my eyes out. The first, like, I saw the video, I'm just like, no, I'm losing it. Oh my god.
No, I had chills when you guys started the We Are the Nine Blades thing. I was like, oh, that's the thing you want to hear. Yeah. No, it was very well put together. It was well organized, and to think about the transition of essentially you're given a month of, oh hey, go kingdom mode. Here we are.
Yeah.
I
mean,
fantastic.
like on top of that, right? We were still in office, right? We and our coronation was a week after. So it was like, oh, by the way, you're gonna be queen. And that whole, your kingdom now starts in 1 week. So prepping to go from being a principality monarch to a kingdom monarch, and the first one in 1 week's time was nuts. Right,
to say the least. But you handled it well, obviously. Master
Thank
Crown
you.
now,
Appreciate
going
that.
to be knighted. So still was interested in one. how you decided to do nightly activities, and how do you keep coming up with ideas for activities? It's one of the things Dragonspine's having a little bit of trouble with, making sure that we have enough activities on the weekend, but you're doing it every night. How?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Again, it's the team. It is not one person. It is using the sheer mass of volunteer amazingness. There's just lots of folks with lots of strengths, and lots of volunteers that are just willing to be there and run stuff. We have a group of moderators that are there every day. And the main group of folks that started the feature park nights, that's what the warden of the North Non-Noble was for.
Okay.
Because we're like every night making sure that, at least conversation and crafting was going on at, minimum. So basically, I'd say the key of basically how our feature parks work, and how we have stuff to do, is that it's broken down in park. So each park has a 2-hour block on their day.
Oh, okay. All right.
So each park is responsible for their block. So they'll run an activity, they'll run whatever, and if they aren't able to run something that week, right? The wardens, the moderators, volunteers that are there will just make sure that there's something going on, right?
Okay.
Either they're making sure that there's like Amtgard related topics that we're discussing, even if we're talking about just mundane stuff, but like we're crafting, we're doing activities, we're helping each other plan other events, we're just keeping stuff going. Sometimes we'll play games, right? Having a park do Jackbox games is just an absolute blast. Really good for just, right, again, that morale, that group bonding experiences. Knowing that it doesn't have to be like 100% Amtgard, so long as you are, it is Amtgarders doing things together, staying connected. But yeah, we do our best to keep it Amtgard related. Even like if we're doing like movie nights and stuff, we'll do very geeky things.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I think I want to say about a week or two ago, my park did a run of Gallivant, that we all just like watched together through Discord. That was fun. It's just, yeah, it's a lot of things like that. Right now, there's a park that's doing like trivia nights. We usually do like Kingdom quests on Thursdays. We have Kingdom Town Hall on Thursdays too. Crafting with Valiant, who will soon be a Serpent Knight. Right, I do Admiral's Academia, so I'm teaching bi-weekly on Sundays. Yeah, we just have a lot of volunteers just constantly running things.
That
Yeah.
that is a great idea that eluded me. We've been doing Discord for a year online, and I never thought to be like, hey, we have 8 parks in Dragonspine. Plus the kingdom can do something. Let's just rotate.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not daily. Maybe it's still 2 times a week, or maybe it's just once a week. But hey,
Oh yeah.
Mountains Velsrum, you're gonna handle what's happening on Discord this week. And
Yeah.
because as the monarch, the monarch and the monarch team, we're just like, oh no, what are we gonna do today? We've asked all the same people to do all the same things for. But yeah, that's, man. Stillhut, if
Yeah.
you're watching this, take note for that. Come May 1, you have
Yeah.
another resource to tap into.
Yeah. So I just want to say, Bonnie the Broken Wench, that was her brainchild.
All
The
right.
featured park nights, yeah, that was 110%. That was her idea. So cheers to you, mate. Like,
Awesome.
like really was a heck of a thing. And yeah, and we've just been fortunate to be able to keep that going. So
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. Still, I would like to know what inspired you to make videos for tournaments to review judges' feedback. Also, I've been asked to tell you how amazing that idea is and that she's totally going to steal it.
Go for it. You have my absolute blessing. Please do so. So I don't like text. I find that it lacks tone. It can be very impersonal. I find judges' comments, especially in text, can be very harsh. It can be very short, very blunt, and it's not supportive. It's just really not supportive. Something that I wanted to do for my regent term that I started, and now I'm not regent anymore, but I was delegated the Dragon Master tournament for this term, and I just decided to keep that going. So for those that don't know, basically, I started a style that is there's 3 different ways to enter. It's the Armada Gallery tournament style, where you can enter just as a regular Dragon Master, or you can enter as feedback only, so you won't get a judge's score and you won't get a placement in the tournament. You'll just get feedback, and you'll also have display space, right? Or you have showcase only, where you don't get a score, you don't get feedback, you just get a place to display your work. And that's basically, some folks want to be able to show their stuff, have a platform, but aren't hyper competitive individuals, or don't take feedback very well, take it very personal. And right, again, you know, previously you would just get a little blur of text. It would be super blunt. It would be sometimes very harsh, and super discouraging. When we do have feedback, right, the compliment sandwich is something that I like to suggest, right? You start with something good, then you go for whatever critique, advice, things to improve on, and then you end with positive and support. Again, good stuff, and encourage them to keep going. So basically, when I'm not able to be the one doing all like the text and stuff, right? For me, being able to create videos to go over that feedback in length, go and explain all of that better, and then to be able to again do the compliment sandwich myself when that's not in text. I think it's just important for these tournaments to be things that are encouraging and inspiring for them to keep going. We don't have enough support for our artists, and there's lots of folks that will stop tournamenting after their first tournament because the experience is negative, or they'll stop crafting altogether. I've seen that as well. And that's the exact opposite that we want, right? As a Serpent Knight, I feel it is my duty to support and encourage artists. So when I am in charge of running a Kingdom Dragon Master, I'm going to do my due diligence and make sure that I'm supporting those artists as best I can. So this has been just a way that I've been able to do that. So I make personalized videos for each of the contestants to go over their feedback.
I love it. I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, especially now in a world where the only way we can have contact is in whatever form you send someone. So if you send them a video and go, hey, I can tell you all of it. You can see my face. You can feel my emotion behind the things. It's the second half of the communication being correct, which is going to bring up the first half right now. What advice do you have for ANS write-ups? How much is too much?
I would say that there isn't a too much if it explains what you need to get across. Okay. I think some folks will get too concerned about the length of it and then just not give enough information because they're trying to keep it short, which then does the exact opposite for them, because then you'll end up getting those judges' comments of, we needed more information on this. We didn't know about the art form. We didn't know about your artistic choices, right? So basically, go in assuming that the judges know absolutely nothing about your art form at all. Just assume that they're complete novices. Explain how you did it. Sometimes something that you can do that can help is actually go step by step and explain your process. This can help the judges understand the amount of work that you put into it, the actual process that you went through. So if you're going by and doing the proper way to do things, as it were, for specific things are done in a certain way, you can show exactly what you did in the order that you did it, which can also assist the judges in your feedback, and be able to give direction, right? If they notice that that you don't do X, Y, or Z in your steps, right? Be like, oh, well, if you do this here, this might actually help this part of that, right? Right. It's the more you can tell them, the better feedback you're going to get, and you also will most likely see a score improve, because they will know just how much work you put into it, and that you did your due diligence of how much you put in. So I'd say that's usually a good one. It also breaks it up text-wise. If you're going step by step, because if you have just this giant page-long essay, that can be hard for the judges to go through. That's when they start to kind of information overload kind of thing. Yeah, you just go like, oh my gosh, there's so much, right? But if it's broken down in steps, it's easier for you to actually go through. It's less intimidating to go through reading wise. But yeah, so basically you want to go through the steps, you want to go through any artistic choices, right? Any design choices, why you chose to do what you did, any significance or whatever to your thing, any particular techniques that you did that you think is relevant, even specific tools. If you made a tool specifically to be able to make a craft, right? Let the judges know that you did that, right? That's just bonus stuff. Oh gosh, what else is there?
Well, let me actually pose a hypothetical to you. It'll solve an argument between myself, Dame Annabelle Lee, Stillhat, Sir Francis, and Marquis Tajima. And I'll let you be the final decision. Hypothetically speaking, I'm a man who likes to have cookies overcooked. Hypothetically, I overcook my cookies, but in my write-up, I say that these cookies are overcooked because that's how I prefer them, and they are the way that they would be eaten. Still, I'm doing it. This is how they would be eaten by me, because this is my favorite way to eat them. Because it's in the write-up that they would be burnt because they are to the taste of the creator. Would you pass with a 3.0 or higher those cookies?
Okay, so I guess the first question is, in your kingdom, do you have a 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5?
1 out of 5.
Okay, solid. And is 3 passing in
3
yours?
is passing, yes.
3 is passing, okay.
Yes.
We have totally different
okay, all right, that's
totally
fair.
different numbers on my kingdom, so it's like, I'm very clear. So go out of 10. So just like a 3 out of 10 is very different from a 3 out of 5. Okay, so it is not because you are incapable of making them unburnt. It is an artistic choice to do so. The important thing is it would not be a passing if you did not mention that that was an artistic choice. It is passing, however, because you are specifying that it was done with intention. Now,
did you hear that, Stillhat?
Now, but that's got to be legit. Like, if you just say, oh no, they're burnt because I like burnt stuff, and you don't actually like burnt stuff, then that's lying on your write-up, and that's a no-no.
Sure.
So
Sure.
so there's a bit of a I will say there was when I was like super new into Dragon Master tournaments, I made a chocolate cream pie. And I didn't do like a double broiler. I didn't do any like proper way to do it. I just put it on a thing, put it on the stove, and I burnt it. And I entered it, and the judges loved it and were like, I love the coffee flavor. The coffee taste of it was really good. It's because it was burnt. It wasn't, there was no coffee flavoring. It was a chocolate cream pie. It was not supposed to taste like coffee. It was completely
that's char.
That's char. So I specifically went to the judges and I was like, no, please, can you reassess this? You scored me too high. Yeah. I cannot take credit for burning this and you liking this. And they refused to redo it. They were like, no, you earned it. We really loved the taste. Like this, we judged on the taste and the taste was really good. Okay. Just like, now luckily it was like a small local tournament. But yeah, no, I was just like, please don't give me credit for this. I completely bombed this. Like this was just to like pacify the next entry. It literally just needed to pass. Like I didn't do this to get a good score on this.
So the chat's kind of blowing me up here. This was completely hypothetical. I've never burnt cookies and turned them in. My point was that if you burnt cookies, because the burnt is subjective in that term. If you made the cookies the way that you like them, because that's how you like them, and other people are subjectively seeing them as burnt, but your write-up suggests this is how I eat them. This is how I eat them regularly, and I prefer them this way. Maybe knowing that via truth, it's a 3. I'm sorry, it's a 3. Still had, yeah, well, yes, I did qualify honey butter, but I made honey butter. Anyways, Still would like to know, how do you feel about completing your Paragon boot camp?
Oh, relieved. Relieved. Yeah, it was an undertaking. So I created Paragon boot camp last year, and it was supposed to be a live event. It was never meant to be just this online thing that we've been doing. So I mean, and last year it was a 1-day event. And it was a small crew. I want to say it was probably like 5 or 6 Paragons maybe. And it was, again, right, like, I mean, it was like a 9-hour day. So it was filled with stuff, but it was still just the 1 day. And it was the week of shutdown. So it was a live event, and then I had 1 week to turn it into an online event. And to my knowledge, it was actually the first online event in Amtgard.
I believe so.
Yeah, so it was nuts. It was nuts. So that kind of was the start, at least for our kingdom, of just, okay, we're just moving everything online. We're still going to keep going. We're still going to keep running things. We're just going to figure out how to do this in an online space. So that was basically how it all started, was Paragon Bootcamp. So this year coming back around, I was the odd credit again, but it was a 3-day event. And I was coordinating, I think it was something about like 28 people for this event. So going from a 6-person crew to a 28-person crew, and a 3-day event where each day was like an 8-hour thing.
Right.
It's a huge, it was ambitious. And we were very fortunate. It went off fairly well, I'd say. It was like literally we only had 1 hiccup. So unfortunately we lost our Paragon Reeve for the Paragon panel, because we had a Paragon from every single class represented in the panel. And then we filmed it, and there was something crashed on the computer, so we lost all of the footage from that panel. So the panel went off without a hitch, and that worked all well. But we don't have video of the panel now, so that was
okay.
very sad.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, the whole rest of the event was all the recordings went off fine with those, and we didn't have any massive technical difficulties from that point.
So it's just your luck though that like you were given the shortest amount of time to do anything, and you're just like, no, I can do it. Watch me do this thing.
I work well under pressure, and I have a pretty solid turnaround for nonsense, I'd say, at this point.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, Spooky would like to know about the Admiral's Academia. What was the motivation behind doing that?
Oh, okay. Get back into the tearjerker zone.
Oh no.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, no, Purple Funk Western after. Okay, so in March of last year, I ended up getting an undisclosed virus that attacked my lungs. And I got extremely, extremely ill, the sickest I've ever been in my life, to the point where I was having to make some end choices, I'm gonna just say, and had to I had to decide what mark I was leaving behind.
Sure.
And a lot of my career, a lot of my passion has been for teaching. And I realized that if I wasn't gonna make it through that illness, I had no recordings of anything I'd ever taught. So I would just disappear. My teachings, my methods would last as long as my students were teaching them. And at some point they'd stop playing. So I would just, everything that I had ever taught, everything I'd ever put into the game would just eventually just be gone. And I realized that I wanted to leave something behind. So that's how it started. I wanted to just teach everything I knew and leave these recorded lectures as my legacy to the game. So that was how it started. I just wanted to be able to leave something.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You'll never be forgotten. Sorry that I had to do that. You're obviously very special to people that are very special to me as a person. So don't ever think you're going anywhere. Plus, you've been on Kingdom of Kodiak, so you're like historically renowned at this point.
Wanted to know if there was something that could get me to cry.
Yeah, well, we did it. We got it. So
I'm gonna give you a +2 for that.
Hey. We're gonna have to meet up at some point and just
absolutely. You got 8 points. I mean, I
yeah.
need to meet you now.
Yeah.
Be back in Rochester.
Well, we'll get a garbage plate.
Oh my god. You are from Western New York.
Yeah. All right. Kato would like to know. Let's get a funny question here right now.
All right, Alex, give back in. Whoop, whoop.
Kato has decided, because he lost this argument, that back shields aren't cool anymore. So what do you think about monsters' armor that pushes the boundaries of the ROP, such as a turtle monster with a shield on their back?
Yeah. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna specifically scenario quest monsters, not like can play in battle games monsters, right?
There it is.
Where you end up with a back shield in the middle of a normal everyday battle game. But for scenarios and quests, yeah, I love that. I remember again, right? Sir Wunjo, Master Smith, runs quests and all sorts of craziness. Huge into creating games. He ran a thing once where it was like this multi-part monster where every person played a different part of the creature. So you'd have somebody that was the head, someone that would be the right arm, the left arm, right? And how they would move and how they would fight and what they had on them, right? And it was some weird like turtle monster thing where like the thing in the center was just like shields and like nothing else. So it would be stuff like that. So I think that's a super neat mechanic, especially like if you're down in amount of players you have to work with for NPC roles, right? Being able to have a monster that can handle, 5 people ganging up on them, right? Having those types of defensive mechanics in there can help create scenarios where they can survive longer and have more stuff and more challenges for the PCs to be dealing with. So yeah, I super support that.
Okay,
Also,
fantastic.
Right, when in doubt, flurp. So
yeah. No, also that's fine. Kato, also by the way, I'm still winning the beard grow back competition. I'm sorry, you don't get that one.
I got a ways to go.
Well, I mean, you didn't shave the same day as us either, so there it is. There it is. Still, I would like to know.
Oh, that's beard.
Still, I would like to know.
Hair's gone also crazy long. Always keeping braids. That's the answer to everything right now.
Admiral, stop! I have questions.
Go for it. Okay.
Still, I would like to know. I'm going to assume this isn't next GOTC, but will you be attending the next in-person GOTC?
That is extremely unlikely. That's a very far trip. And financially very rough. Yeah, medically, I don't think I could handle something that was that far. And also, the altitude is also like really high. And I have like really severe asthma, so I went to Denver once and it was a terrible breathing experience. So
yeah, that's fair.
I feel like that particular event would not go well. I was very, very lucky that it was online because I was planning to go, and the whole time I was like, I can't actually do this. What am I actually? Oh my God, I'm planning this trip. Like my Christmas gift was like the plane trip from every member of my family. So I was planning to go, but the whole time was like, this is completely unrealistic. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? So unfortunately, not likely. It'd be amazing one day if that could happen, but I unfortunately don't think that's gonna be
all right.
realistic for me.
What would you say is your favorite major Amtgard event then?
I got 2. Battle of the Dens, which is our kingdom event. That one I gotta say for sure. That's our biggest one, and it's amazing. And then the other one, I gotta go back to old school first home, Great Eastern, the Kingdom of the Golden Veil event. I think those are my 2.
Okay, cool. Back to Kato. If you could have any structure at an event, circus tent, RV, house tent, castle, whatever, what would it be and why? And as much detail as you need.
Okay. For like comfort wise, I would love an RV. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Just like something with like an air conditioned, like something I can control the temperature, especially with my medical stuff. Something with a bed in it, a washroom and a table and a little fridge. Yeah, that would be electricity. Oh my god, yeah, that would be my dream scenario. Wish. But otherwise, a pirate ship. Obviously, just having just a pirate ship that could just, I want an RV that is a pirate ship. It just looks like a pirate ship, right? The whole
Mm-hmm.
9 yards, the whole just, want to keep it period looking. So just having it be built, right? The entire exterior. And then also, right, you can have all of the RP stuff going on the top deck, right? On
Yep.
top of the RV, right? You can get a ladder up there, right? You can have just, get yourself a big old table, have folks come visit, right? You got the mats, you can get up there, you maybe have a tea party up in the crow's nest. I mean, you'll go the full 9 yards if you're gonna do it. Yeah, so I'd say an RV that had an exterior pirate ship built onto it. So that's my super specific answer.
you Xander the Reaper and Deverick Stormcrest should get together because they are turning a go-kart into a dragon for an event. Yeah. That's Deverick and Xander found a go-kart, and that's on their list of things to do once Deverick finishes his time in the military. So
that's
yeah,
fantastic.
that'll be fun. You're also getting a shout out here. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the chat, but it looks like
I do know there was chat.
Spooky and Stillhead are planning a Canadian trip. I don't know if Canada is necessarily the need meet point though. She's from Western New York, y'all. We could go to Rochester. We could go to my old stomping grounds and go to Anwin at Fredonia State. And
you look so familiar, and I couldn't place it.
Hey,
Anwin.
How long?
Yes.
Well, no. Hold on. Hold on.
Forever and a day.
I've never played formally for Anwin. I've visited Anwin, and I'm from the area, but yeah.
Fredonia, right?
Yeah.
Fredonia, New York.
See?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's sneaky. It is cool. This is again. We'll have this talk. At some point.
We're definitely gonna have to talk.
Eliza Joy had a question that I liked, so I'm gonna keep. What's the funniest thing that you ever seen at a park or an event?
Oh god, funniest thing. Oh gosh, there's been a whole bunch, trying to filter it through. Ooh. This is a stumper. All right. Okay, so funny. Okay, I'll tell a funny tale of something I did at a field day. It was a quest. I was playing a kitsune in a quest, and the only direction I was given was to hand over this random ball when it came time in the quest to give it, but not before. Everything before was just be mischievous. That's it. My direction was be mischievous. So Elgin Martian comes to me and goes, we are trying to defeat this lion creature. Do you have something, a weapon that we can defeat this creature with? And it wasn't time to give them the thing yet. So yes, I have a thing, but you must go to the woods and find me the shiny shine that's shiny. Very well, away to the woods. And they go off to the woods. There's nothing in the woods. I have nothing planned there. I looked, I was like, just in my view, there was the woods, and shiny. I want to say about 5 minutes later, he comes back with a deflated metallic silver balloon. Is this the shiny shine that's shiny? That's it. You found it. Good for you. Come, gents, away to the lion. And they go in front of this lion, and he goes, ha! The lion cocks his head and goes, siege. He promptly came back with a vengeance, and at that moment, as I saw him meet a terrible end, I jumped into camouflage and pretended that I was not there.
Okay. All right.
Found it. Found it. He brought it back.
Yeah. It wasn't the thing, though. Awesome.
What was the thing? We did eventually get the little bauble that I had, but yeah.
There we go.
Started with just getting completely crushed with a balloon.
All right. Last question before we start talking about knighthood a little bit more in depth. What are your future goals for Amtgard? And what is a major goal that you've accomplished already?
Ooh, okay. Oh, a million things left to do. I'm still doing Admiral's Academia. That's still a continued thing. Funny enough, I haven't Serpent. I actually haven't gotten into any of my craft classes yet, because I haven't had a rig that could show me and like my hands basically, to be able to show what I'm doing. So that's going to be coming up. Right, so needle felting, wood burning, all of that type of more hands-on, the hand stitching binder thing that I teach, that will all be coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned. So I've been just doing other classes that do not involve needing to show my hands. So that's definitely something that I want to do. A big thing I want to do is finish up the other phases of Knights AMA. For those that don't know, I guess, I created Knights AMA, which is the Facebook group. It was and has always been intended to be a multiple phase project. And we started phase 2 at the very start of the pandemic. So that will be getting a restart when the pandemic is over. So basically phase 2 of it is an in-person thing, with tags that knights can wear. And one side says, ask me anything. And the other side of the tag says, basically, can you come back later, or something along the lines. The big thing that I have found is that folks don't know when they can approach knights at events, to ask them. Sometimes they feel that they don't want to bother them, they don't want to impose. They get sort of they psych themselves up and out and think that they're just like, oh, you can't talk to them, oh, they're a knight. And we're just like normal, we are just your average players. Like, we're just people. Like, we all started same, like, we're not better than anyone else. Like, we're just us. So it's like and the other side of that coin is, as knights, we want to teach, we want to be approached and talk shop, right? We love talking about the things that our passions in this game, which is our paths, and being able to help others and mentor them and have those conversations. But then it's just like, come to us, please. Right? Knowing the other side of that coin and going like, anyone want to know a thing? Can I help? So basically having some sort of visual indicator of when you're available for those, when you're saying, hey, I really want you to come and talk to me about this, and also having the other side of having boundaries. And when you're knight, you tend to be volunteering a lot of events, and having something that you can quickly be like, right, instead of going, I've got to run a quest in 5 minutes, I'm so sorry, right, without having that super weird blowing you off kind of sounds like it making an excuse type of thing, right? Having a please come back later thing, right? Just be like, oh, just so they know, yes, I do want you to, I will be available later, it's not right now, but please come back. So that program is something that I want to be starting. The other thing that I wanted to do, phase 3, I'm going to try to do online, but essentially was more along the lines of panels having knights just be available to do lectures, doing things at events live, being able to just have AMAs wherever autocrats are, have open free time that they need filled, right? Going, hey, what nights are available going to this event? Okay, cool. Who's up to do a panel, right? Who's available for an AMA? Just again, having more outreach, having more just information out there. A big thing of why I created Knights AMA was that there still is a lot of misunderstanding about how knighthood works, what the role of knights are. And then the other side of that is folks that don't have readily available knights that can mentor them and help explain things and go over that kind of stuff. And then, distance, time, that kind of thing, right? Which we're now seeing a lot of that in this time, that we're able to kind of get past that barrier of distance. Right. So the Facebook group was that. There's like over 700 people, I think, on there, from every kingdom's represented. And it's just a place where you can ask questions of any knights that are part of that group, in just getting a whole bunch of different perspectives and from different paths. But yeah, it's just having a space that's available to ask questions, especially if you're looking for more insight, even if like you do have knights in your kingdom, outside perspectives. But also for groups that do not have any knights at all, have never seen a knight, that they have knights from every kingdom available at the tip of their fingers, right? And you just, hey, I have a super random question about knighthood, post, right? And then you'll get just, here's a bunch of knights like giving their perspective on that question. So that's basically kind of cool. That whole thing.
So I mean, it's an amazing page. I like reading it. I don't ask a lot of questions on it, but I love like reading and seeing what other people are asking, because you're right. There's still a lot of discrepancy about what knighthood is, who knights are, what their responsibilities are.
Yeah.
And having on duty, off duty kind of markers so that people can see that. That's really good. That's a great idea. Since you brought it up, why don't we move to knighthood, our third topic?
Yeah.
You're going to be receiving your second belt. How do you feel about being someone who is receiving a second belt?
Oh, it's nuts. It's a humongous honor. It still doesn't feel like it's happening. It's still just like, oh gosh, that's a thing. We're just getting closer and closer to it, and it's just like, oh right, that's the thing. You just kind of keep on forgetting that that's a thing, and it's like, oh, that's real. So yeah, it's really it's mind-boggling right now. But yeah, it's to be able to have more than one path in this game is crazy. So it's like I'm also doing flame path stuff right now. I just got my 10th smith, so like to be doing like having all three paths that I'm working on simultaneously. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. But I'm in a very fortunate situation that I have the time to devote to these things, right? That's the silver lining of having disabilities, is that that you are on disability, right? So being able to have that time to put into other things like the game. So I'm fortunate in that respect that that's my silver lining, is that I can focus on those things. So yeah, so right now I guess my focus is being a good crown knight, helping folks with leadership, helping folks understand sort of how office works, and helping them with their own particular styles, and just being on call to assist where I am needed right now.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. Still would like to know, what was the hardest part of about achieving the Serpent Knight belt?
Oh gosh. Back then, it was expected for you to win Kingdom Dragon Master tournaments, and it was expected that you did it at Kingdom. So this was back in Golden Vale, where right, originally from Rochester, it would be a 9-hour drive to get to Golden Vale proper. So, and to try to get all of your Dragon Master entries in that vehicle that you are then traveling 9 hours with,
Yeah.
Was very hard. And it was around the time of the car crash. So that's why I am disabled. So that was kind of the trigger of how that all started. So trying to deal with my medical stuff, and adjusting to life after I was just like a very physical person that just did a million things, right? I was in school, I was a fencer at the time. I was doing English equestrian. I was like, well, I was doing marching band. I like drum corps. I did everything. I had this philosophy of I didn't so much as burn the candle at both ends as I took a blowtorch to the middle, because it was more efficient. If I'm gonna burn the wax, I might as well, go full on.
Right.
So I just did everything. Every waking moment I just filled, and then all of it just stopped. And crafting, and at the time archery, was basically how I refound who I was, found where my strengths were and what I could do. I also, I think a big thing too was I was so focused on being an artist that I didn't really realize that performance was a thing in the game. Right, I was a voice major. Like I went to a performing arts high school. So theater was a huge aspect of my life. Right, it was like, I think I had to like audition to be in the school. So being able to then incorporate that into doing things for Dragon Masters, and also creating shows for Kingdom things, right? I think the most nuts like bardic performance thing that I did for a tournament was back at a Keep Olympiad, where I did I created a 10 to 15 minute version of Into the Woods.
Okay.
Yeah, I like, so the secret of Into the Woods is that if you end at Act 1, it's a full complete story. You do not need to go to Act 2 at all. So
Okay.
there's a thing called junior musicals, where they only do a portion of the musical,
Right.
and they don't do a full multi-act show.
Okay.
So for Into the Woods Junior, it's literally, they just do the first act. So I took the first act, and I played the role of the witch, and I took a couple of her big things in the first act, and then I used the narrator to kind of fill the spaces in between and give a wrap up. Okay, this is how we all end.
Right.
Done. So I did the witch's rap, and I did Stay With Me, and I had the baker's wife, I had Rapunzel, I had a narrator, and then I performed it as well. I made all of the costumes, all the accessories. I did all of my own prosthetics. I did all the styling of the wigs. I made a portable stage, basically. I did I wrote the adaptation of the script. I directed it, I staged it, did all the rehearsals. My write-up was an essay. So I made it like I made it a written entry, but didn't make it a written entry. So I made my thing an essay basically, and it talked about my my directorial choices. I had a swatch book of all of the fabric choices I used for each of the characters to show the interconnected relationships between the characters using specific color palettes and specific fabric choices to connect them. So everything was like color coded. I made a time-lapse video of the prosthetic work. I presented that with a custom label on the DVD, and the DVD was in a hand-painted box themed with the show. And the inside had like sculpted things, all like when you opened it, it was all like woodsy themed. And the same thing with my write-ups were rolled up scrolls that was like paper that was like in the theme of the show, rolled up into scrolls with like wax seals, again with the motif of the show, in a wooden box that looked like a book, all hand painted, inside sculpted bean like things to reflecting the show again, right? Like I went nuts on this thing. I had a pyrotechnic magic trick that I performed 2 of them. So I had a pyro flash that I threw fire out of my hand, right? I made the staff, the light up staff that she uses, and then I sang and performed as the witch. So like, it was like the most bonkers. I literally, my whole entire thing of that was I wanted to see how outrageous a bardic entry could be. So that was my goal. I wanted to see like how just nuts can you go on a bardic entry? Because there's so many performances I'd seen where it would be folks in t-shirt and jeans, they would sing a song. It would be a character song, but they wouldn't be in character at all. Mm-hmm. And then they just do it. They wouldn't have a clear beginning or end. They'd just be like, all right, we just start. Okay, song. Oh no, I forgot the words. Hold on. Yeah, okay. This. Oh no, I'm done. Okay, cool. Bye. Like I had seen bardic tournament entries that were that legitimately that, and it was just like, feel like we could do more than that. So I wanted just to push the envelope on it and see how far it could go, and apparently the answer was pretty far.
So in the timeline of you becoming a Serpent Knight, is
Yes.
this is before you're belted?
No.
Oh,
this was,
good God. Okay.
Yeah, no, this was I did this in September, and I had been knighted in July. So it was that few month period after my knighting.
That's well, you're definitely from New York, because that's a different kind of crazy right there. Whoa. Well, congratulations on pulling it off, and now you know how extreme it can get. That's awesome. Whew. Yeah, Stillhead says that she no longer wants to be a Serpent Knight.
No.
Well, it does tie into the next question. Stillhead wants to know, because she is going to be a Serpent Knight, if I have to drag her there myself.
Yes. I believe in you.
What do you look for in an aspiring Serpent Knight?
Someone that loves what they do. Somebody that that also wants to share that with others. They want to share their knowledge. They want to inspire and help others with their particular paths and crafts. Just somebody that's supportive, and somebody that genuinely loves what they do, is good at what they do.
Good. Okay.
More or less.
All right. Let's get into a couple of the meat and potatoes from the last year then.
Yep.
Last year, GOTC, the discussion of opening Paladin and anti-Paladin came up.
Yep.
What would you want?
I'm in support of it. I'm supporting it being open. Okay. In my dream scenario, you open the classes, but you
Mhm.
change the name.
Mhm.
Have it where there is a different image or switching it to a sash.
Mhm.
But if you are a knight, you are able to call yourself paladin or anti-paladin, and you are allowed to wear, in addition, right, the reserve symbols, right,
Okay.
so that we're not erasing paladin, anti-paladin, we're not erasing the history, we're not erasing those that have, right. I'm a paragon anti-paladin, right?
Mhm.
It would be crushing if all of a sudden it was just like, nope, your class doesn't exist anymore,
Right.
right? Because I've heard other folks suggest mixing them all together. I've
Mhm.
heard, oh, mix those two into one class. I've heard just literally open it up, having folks just be able to wear a black or white phoenix.
Mhm.
Right. I think that we don't like, I still like the traditions. I still like honoring the old ways. But I don't think that we need to restrict and gatekeep either.
Right.
So I think it's about finding the balance between the two, and honoring the old ways but bringing in new ones too.
Let me present this. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, the phoenixes are protected. You can wear your phoenixes. You can still, if you're wearing a white phoenix, you still be called a paladin. You're wearing a black phoenix, you still be called an anti-paladin.
Yep.
If you're a knight or a paragon, on top of all of the class abilities, each class has a knight attribute and a paragon attribute that's on top of what the class can provide. So instead of having a class dedicated to knights, knights and paragons are also given a little perk inside of that class. So if you're a paragon archer or a knight, you can choose. Do I want the paragon bonus or do I want the knight bonus for archer today? And have
Ooh.
it be talking specifically, the last time I talked about this was with Sir Francis, who's a old school master archer. Um, in discussing the idea of the knight being an armored version of archery and the paragon being the sniper version of archery or something like that. But having all the classes available, I don't know if you need to create the two new classes that paladin and anti-paladin once were, but you could take those attributes to make a new class if you wanted to, but give each class a knight perk and a paragon perk. Thoughts?
um so I remember, like, super way back in the day, there used to be a thing that was like that, like, when it was, right, it's master then. I'm actually a V7 master archer and a V8 paragon archer. I
Okay.
re-earned it
Okay.
because I didn't take the grandfather when it happened.
Hmm.
um I um I felt like I wanted to reprove myself. I wanted to reprove that I knew V8, that I knew the class,
Sure.
and that I had done my due diligence to train up in that.
Hmm.
Now, that's no disrespect to anyone that took the grandfather. That was just my own personal choice. I wanted
Hmm.
I wanted to challenge myself. So that's why I went with that. And I did end up re-earning it, and I was re-awarded by Paragon. Um, but I was D7 master, and when I started, it was still, the transition into D7. So there were some remnants of just like, you'd hear all the things about V6 and stuff, and I believe there used to be some sort of thing where masters would get like a little like archetype sort of bonus
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
Um, so I like, it's like when I had it, that was no longer a thing. It was just like, oh, I missed it.
Hmm.
So I never got to experience that, but I thought that was super neat.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just seeing a scenario where we do 1 through 6, and then you get archetypes. You can pick an archetype. So I play druid a lot. So avatar, nature, ranger, or summoner. Pick one of those. That's your archetype. And then off to the side, Druid has a Knight perk if available. Druid has a Paragon perk if available. And those perks wouldn't make it so that it was a different class. It would just be an additional, maybe a Swift or an additional enchantment strip or what have you. But
yeah, kind of like look the part.
yeah, absolutely. And then you can stack. Like if you want Look the Park to be a maintained thing, you have to have Look the Park to qualify for Paragon for that. So if you show up, you're a Paragon, but that day you decide to show up in jeans and a t-shirt, you don't qualify for the Paragon perk anyways, because you need the Look the Part to maintain Paragon. My opinion, but an idea that I had put out there.
That's interesting.
Thank you. I think I have interesting ideas all the time. Second to last question in the Knighthood, and then we're going to get to the most serious questions. We call them the funny ones. There has been a recent survey done about a 5th belt line. And discussions of griffins and masks being part of this belt line, and it being for battlefield prowess. As a Paragon, meaning that you are playing the battle games, you enjoy the battle games. What do you think about this 5th belt?
I'm still not sure just like the way to go about it, but in general, I think it would be very neat for us to have. I think it's a little weird that we don't have a belt path for the core structure of our game. Like, right, we have Paragon obviously, but like we don't have a Knighthood for battle gaming. And the core structure of our rulebook, and what the game is, right? Obviously we have so much more to this game, but like that core of the classes and performing in a specific way, there is no path there. So I think it would be good to have. I personally like having things to achieve. I like having goals, things to work towards. So I mean, again, right, I'm it's getting a little nerve-wracking coming to my 2nd Knighthood, because it's like, oh, this path has ended for what I can strive for. I don't know, I always get like almost like this little bit of dread when I achieve things, because there's that like I enjoy the journey so much that it's like when it ends, it's just like, now what? I push and try to just so I mean I think the Into the Woods thing was a perfect example of that. Is just I don't like to stop. I like to keep going and pushing myself. And when there was nothing else to strive for, just seeing how far I could go became what I strived for.
Sure.
Right. Learning more things and just improving, just never stopping. So even if there were no awards in this game, I don't want to imply that, I do things for the awards, that I'm doing it. The awards are more of just a good benchmark of, am I improving?
Yeah.
So it's hard to know when you like, if you are actually doing good in a thing, if you're not getting that, you're doing good, right? Like having that just sort of, right? It's like a video game when you're doing achievements, right? When the thing pops up and you got the thing, you're like, okay, cool. I know that I've now performed this move to the point where there's a checkbox.
Yeah.
So it's more of just having that checkbox. But that doesn't mean I will ever stop doing a thing. Like it's never an end for me. But yeah, it's just like when that ends, it's always just like this, like, oh, now what do I do? How do I go farther than this? So having another belt, to a path to just work on, right? Like as of right now, I've been going after I got my Paragon Anti-Paladin. I'm just like, what class now do I go for? Right? Like what thing do I strive for next? Because I always just like working towards something, just like having something to go for. I will never stop playing anti-paladin. I'll never stop playing archer and trying to improve and learn different strategies and different ways to improve. But Paragon is not a thing that I can re-achieve for those. Right. I got to redo it for the changeover. I got lucky enough for the V7 V8 that I was like, oh, I can rework on a thing. But that's not a thing now. So I mean, if V9 changes the name again, then I mean, like, there we go. But
you got a whole a new project, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Last question then. We've asked every knight that's come on this show. Tell us about your belt line.
Oh, my belt line. Oh gosh. A lot of crafters, but a lot of service folks.
Okay.
It's a lot of folks that are multipath, I'd say. And it's usually those two. A lot of service, a lot of craft. But yeah, I basically have an American branch and I have a Canadian branch.
Sure.
So yeah, obviously things changed when I moved to Canada and then had a whole new branch. But yeah, do you want to know about them specifically, like who they are? Okay, cool. In the American branch, we have Raposa from Golden Vale. We have Kirwin, also from Golden Vale. And that's all of my branch in the US. I have a very small branch. And then up here, we have Alistair, Styx, oh gosh, what is Meg's character name? Meg. Oh my gosh. Pandora. Oh god, which Paige's been switching up her name a bunch. Okay. Most folks call her Paige. Squire Paige. Oh my gosh, what's this? Who? 6. Is that all of them? Is that all of them?
Is it all of them?
I have so many belt lanes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I think that's everyone.
Okay.
I think it's all of them. Yeah. So we're like very spread out right now. Some folks moved to places that there are no longer parks, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. There's other folks that were working on school and careers, but other folks are going super strong. My one belt lane is now the Kingdom GMR. I have another belt lane who's done a whole heckin' bunch of service. She just got her 9th rose, so she's still going strong. Yeah, others just like Raposa and Kirwin are just like, their art is just bonkers. Oh gosh, Meg is an amazing artist, and Pandora is an amazing artist too. And Paige is like a jack of all trades. Paige like does so many things, so much service, so much crafting, and then incorporates the two. I have an amazing crew. I just have an amazing crew of beltlings.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I didn't know if you know this or not, but Stillhead and Spooky are in the same belt line.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Good crew.
Spooky is a witch at arms to Stillhead, who is a squire to Damon Abeli, who, is my aunt mom. So I get to hold that cloud over her that I'm not in the belt line, but I'm her brother and she has to deal with it. Anyways, awesome. Let's get to the most serious of questions. Yep. The first one is philosophical and it comes from Cato. They say the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. But what if we are on the greener side?
I think the color of the grass is entirely perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The not everyone is going to see the same colors. And our perspective of what is green or greener can also be our choice to interpret. If we are not always in control of our situations, but we are in control of our attitude about our situations. So if we choose to take what we have as the greenest of greens, and not be constantly trying to find something that is greener than what we've got, we appreciate the shade we have, then it's green enough, and we should enjoy that color for what it is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right. Still wants some validation here. Does still ask too many questions?
No, absolutely not. And honestly, like I've done so many like panels and AMA things where I just get no questions. So the fact that you've given these questions, I think I'm giving you 10 points. Like right out there.
Wait, still had or me?
10. Yep, I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
that's
I mean,
been
you're
Kingdom of
close.
Kodiak, folks.
Super close. I
Yeah.
mean, there's still time.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, this is the signs that still Head's taking over, as I'm not even winning on my own show anymore. All right. So you said no. Still isn't asking too many questions. Still has a question.
Yes. Good.
What do you call the little plastic cylinder of frozen juice? It comes in a variety of flavors, and the sides are really sharp. So you walk away with a mini Glasgow smiles. Those. What do you call them?
Freezies.
Freezies.
Call them freezies.
You call them freezies.
Yes. What do you call them? I have a question now.
I don't know.
Call them something other than a freezie. That's what I'm curious now.
Well, you've got your pen in your hand, so no, I always have called them a freezie. Yes. Interesting.
Curious.
What is becoming one of my favorite questions to ask? Who would play you in a live action Amtgard movie?
What? I'm gonna switch it up and say Johnny Depp, just because I've done all of my cosplays have been Johnny Depp characters, so I'm just gonna say we're just gonna do a role reversal. Just he can play a ridiculous pirate, and then just do the cross-dressing thing like I have to do to play his character.
See, now I would have given your skill sets and whatnot that you've shown. I would have said maybe Anna Kendricks or Helen Bonham Carter. I was in that realm.
Helena Bonham Carter?
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, she'd be good. Yeah, she'd be good. I think she can be nonsense.
Okay. Still had a saying that she calls them otter pops.
Otter pops?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. She's lived in Japan. She's a strange girl. We love her, but she's a strange girl.
Look that up.
Sir Smiley's had a question that I've loved to. Yes, I know I butchered the name. Stillhat. I'm bad with words. I do this show so I can hear myself talk, but I don't want to hear the words. Oh, Sir Smiley had a question that I liked, so I kept it. If you were given the ability to make one new trend that instantly became popular, what would it be?
Oh God. Trend. Hats. Pirate hats.
Pirate hats.
All different shapes. like no one do this style. I claim this very particular one side up with feathers. But literally anything else, you want to do tri-corner, you want to do the thing with the two sides up, you do the Captain Crunch one upper, yeah, sure, whatever you like. Just yeah, but I claim this one. Like that's the thing. If like whenever I have ever made a hat for anyone else, my stipulation always is that I will not make this hat. I will make them any other shape and style, but this one type of hat I do not commission. This is like, I can literally wear anything. I could wear just like random black mundane nothingness and have this hat and still be my character. Like this is the one iconic thing that I own.
Have you seen Taboo?
No.
Tom Hardy show. It's one of my favorite shows, and it's actually part of the Kodiak's like it's kind of where Kodiak's persona is. That hat, it's a top hat, but it's not. It's very not top hat-ish because it has like curves on the side. If you get a chance, take a look at that and tell me, because that hat is the hat that should be hatted by everyone who hats.
Solid.
Solid. Still would like to know, is Santa real?
I think that Santa is the spirit of bringing warmth and joy to individuals in a cold time. That it is about thinking of others and giving them joy, and I think that exists wherever there is that sort of spirit. So I'm going to say yes.
Man, you just made the Master Crown to knighthood argument really political with just that move right there. Is Santa real? Well, here's how I show you I'm a crown knight, folks. In a realm, in a thought, possibly. All right. Still would like to know. Oh, okay. Still would like to know your favorite conspiracy and your favorite Amtgard conspiracy.
Ooh, okay. I think my favorite conspiracy, again, bringing it back to the pirate nonsense, that there are real bones on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a rumor that what the first thing that they attempted didn't look real enough, so they got actual bones and skulls from like a medical school, I think like UCLA or something, and filled the ride with that, and but had to like change it and like go back to fake stuff later on, but that there is at least one skull that is still there, and they think it's the one above the bed in that one scene. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And what about an Amtgard conspiracy?
That I am a goose in a human suit. Fuck. Conspiracy, I tell you.
Well, I mean, Stillhat did mention earlier that she was going to try to catch a goose, so okay. All right. I feel like this would have been an hour shorter if I would have just stopped laughing at everything you said, but I can't help it.
I'm an absurd person. This is fact.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. You hit all the vibes that I would want in a conversation. It's super good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Are we winning the avian war?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the fact that the 9 Blades was created a kingdom, I mean, really going into that conspiracy level, I think that was really, I mean, part of that war, and us being able to infiltrate the rest of the kingdoms by existing is part of that that winning. That's just, that next level up is integrating a kingdom of geese into the rest of Greater Amtgard.
Uh-huh.
I mean, y'all open the door. I mean, that's not on us. But yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I think we are turning the tide in this very epic war, of course.
Okay. Well, here I'm getting an opportunity here to not gain points, but make Stillhat lose points. Stillhat wants to know: are birds real?
Oh, oh,
Still
oh
had
no.
an entire kingdom
Oh,
of peace. What are you doing?
Well, Kodiak is still winning now.
Hey,
There
back
we
up
go.
top.
That's. I thought we were friends. Are real.
Okay.
We are a figment of your imagination. We're not even here. Never been here. It's just a conspiracy. We're not here. Don't exist. Not even real. What are you talking about? Are you seeing things?
Oh man, I hope this makes it to Nineblade so they can see all of this. Do you have a favorite fictional goose?
I'm gonna have to go with this one. This is Captain what was it? Spruce McGoose.
Spruce
I think
McGoose, okay.
Yeah, Spruce McGoose is what we landed on. This was a gift that I literally received like 2 days ago. So this is now my new favorite fictional goose.
Okay. All right.
This guy
That's
right
fair.
here.
That's fair.
He's even got a bow on. I mean, like sword and board, a bow, and a pirate hat. I mean, like it's got like a little teacup. I mean, you can't beat that. I can't.
That's awesome.
Nothing I can think of.
All right. A little bit more loose for a couple questions here. Do you like mustard? Yeah. Kato would like to know.
No. Yuck. Or no. I'm so sorry.
That's not a problem. Morgan would like to know, what's your favorite dish?
Dish. Oh goodness. There's this one thing at Red Lobster that I really like. It's steak, lobster tail, like biscuits, and baked potato. Like it's all this one crazy meal that I really like.
Okay.
It's like butter with everything. So I think that's like it's such a rare thing of me being able to have it. It's like Red Lobster. It's very expensive. So it's just like super crazy anniversaries. So very rare.
So if any of you are visiting the Admiral and you want to win favor, bring Red Lobster. Fair enough. Still head to the chat, and she's been harassing me this whole time with stuff. But she'd also like to know, does Tajima?
I can't see chat.
Well, I can today. I couldn't see it last week because I wasn't home. I was doing it at a different location. This week I can. She knew that, but whatever. Still would like to know, does Tajima, her husband, deserve ice cream?
I think that's up to you. I think that that should be I mean, like I would like to think so. I would like to think so. And I think that if not, that there are ample opportunities to earn that ice cream. So doing something nice for your wife, I think can get you there. So make sure that treat her well. Do something special for her, and maybe that ice cream will be possible thing for your future.
All right, last 3 questions. These are Morgan exclusives. They tend to make it to every episode. If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be, and why is it Freddie Mercury?
Oh gosh. Oh well, if it's already Freddie Mercury, then there we go. Oh goodness. Oof, that's a really good one. I'm going to say Anne Bonny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like right a female pirate, somebody that yeah, I just find her super fascinating. Her and Bartholomew Roberts, I think also, both of them were pretty big inspirations for my character. I was like basically like Anne is a mixture of Anne Bonny, Bartholomew Roberts, and Jack Sparrow. Like
There you go.
that's a lot of the inspiration was those mixtures of individuals. So
Cool.
I would be interested to know their tale, I
All
would
right.
say.
Cool. If you could have tea with any fictional character, who would it be?
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, the Mad Hatter would be exceptional. But also Captain Jack Sparrow, just to, meet Captain Jack.
Sure.
That'd be a fun conversation over tea. I'm sure he would spike it for his own, but
Well, where's the rum? I mean, that's
and his tea, apparently. That's right in the tea.
all right. Last question. We're going to do announcements afterwards. Morgan would like to know if it took a chicken and a half, a day and a half to lay an egg and a half, how long would it take a grasshopper with a wooden leg to kick the seed out of a dill pickle?
3 petunias to the left.
We get a different answer every time, but every time it sounds right. Yeah. Admiral Cash, thank you for coming on. If you could just bear with me through some announcements, we'll say our goodbyes.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic.
It's been a pleasure.
Dragon Spine. Award recommendations for Endrain are due by this weekend. After that, the market team will come together, finalize those awards so that May 1, we can have those awards handed out as we hand over the crown to Stillhat. Dragon Spine and Burning Lands, there's still an RP page up and available. Build your persona, give yourself an opportunity to get some of what your character is out there before the reign ends and we go to a different strategy where I will become Kingdom Champion and then we'll be doing more persona building. Spoilers, Dragon Spine. Anyone who's listening to this, June 4th to 6th, the Clash of Talons is going to be online. Ancash is going to be getting knighted at that event for the crown. So if you have an opportunity to go to that, you should, and support our fellow players and awesome people. I think that's all of my announcements so far. Oh, yeah. Endrain, Dragonspine. Endrain is May 1st. But you knew that because we've been announcing that forever. Yeah, Admiral, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a blast.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
You actually have set a new record for the longest episode of KOK.
Hey!
You're on the board. You beat Sir Randall, and I believe Goldcrest was my second longest. So kudos to you for that. It's been amazing talking to you. Congratulations again on the knighting coming up. I hope to be hearing from you more often now that we know that we were about 4 hours away from each other.
Yeah.
And then for everyone, this has been Kingdom of Kodiak. I've been Kodiak. I'll see you next week.